How's it going, friends? My name is Mike. This channel right here is Health and Wealth. Thank you so much for joining me today. Yesterday we got 20 new subscribers, so appreciate you joining the team here at Health and Wealth. H and then that at symbol W. If you want to write "ha" in the chat, that'd be awesome. Here today to talk about Group C. Today, CONY is the big one in this group. That's the anchor of this group, but we have two new weekly ETFs that were announced by YieldMax that are going to be paying out distributions. If you don't know, today is the distribution announcement date. Tomorrow is the X distribution date, which means that if you buy shares into these companies tomorrow, you won't get this distribution, but you'll get the next one if you still have your money in that fund by that time. Now, something to forewarn you if you're new to these types of funds, today the share price will be here. Tomorrow, the share price will drop, most likely around the amount of the distribution, depending on how the market does. If the market goes way up, then they won't go that full length down. But if the market goes down or stays the same, you should expect to see some depreciation of share price, and not just your normal yield max depreciation, but a higher amount. So I always see in the comments, what happened to the share price on the X distribution date? Well, that's what happens. All right. Now, for most people, you're going to get paid on Friday this week. For some people like myself, me, I get paid on Monday, which is fine. Yeah, no big deal. So let's talk about all of these now. Just to forewarn you guys, this is my take three. My computer shut off the recording the first two times. So there may be some stops and starts in this. I hope you don't notice it too much in here. I'm going to try and meld and weld those together so that I don't have to do this over and over and over again. As you can probably understand, that's annoying. So we're going to start with GPTY. This is the brand new fund from YieldMax. So this is a weekly. The next four are actually weekly. So this is a tech portfolio paying out 35 cents so far. I just took a look at YieldMax's website. They have $19.56 million in money in the fund. So it's not super popular yet. Now, GPTY also down about a buck 26 since it came out, which is just over, well, right around a month from now it came out. So there you go, GPTY. Next one is going to be LFGY, which is going to be that crypto play. And if you want, take a look at YieldMax's website to find out what's in there. Something that made me laugh was something called Clean Spark. I traded in Clean Spark when I first started investing. I day traded Clean Spark a few times, made a few bucks on that one, but really happy that I didn't stick my money in there long term because it kind of took a nosedive. And I haven't looked at it in 4 years now, which is fun to see it on that list. But LFGY paying out 62 cents, which is a huge payment for a weekly. Now, of course, I'm gathering they probably have a couple weeks of buildup here to make that happen. But if you look at the last month, it is down 3.77%. But so has crypto, right? Crypto hasn't really been doing super hot over the last month here, last 3 weeks specifically. And yeah, so I can't blame that from going down too much there. But yeah, we'll see how it goes in the future. Next up, we got YMAX. So this is a weekly pair as well, paying out 19 cents. This is a fan favorite, but I will say that YMAX itself, kind of goes in rotation here with payments. So this is its biggest payment since the beginning of January. You got to be pretty happy with that. Something I wouldn't be happy with is the share price itself. If you take a look at it over the last 6 months, down. I mean, it's only down 2% in the last 6 months, but if you look at the last year here, um, February 5th, a year ago, till now, it's down 18% in share price. But again, you guys, glass half full kind of thing here. I want my glass half full and I want to be able to drink it as well. And that's what's happening here is that we're going just half empty, right? They're paying you your distribution, but your share price is going down. So for me, that's a no go. I'm not really interested in that. And you guys might think or say that I'm contradicting myself because I am doing that with Coney right now, but that's for a mathematical science experiment of throwaway money that I don't care about. So if I cared about what I was invested in with this one specifically, I would be concerned about the share price. Are they paying you too much money? That it kind of negatively affects the share price of the ETF. That's something you need to think about whenever you're investing in these high yield funds. Next up, we have YMAG, paying out 18 cents, which is really good. YMAG goes on these 4 week cycles. So this is the end of that 4 week cycle. You'll notice here that every 3 weeks that it's going to pay quite a bit lower. So that's coming up next week, something to pay attention to. And don't be too alarmed. But yeah, it goes in these 4 week cycles. YMAG has a lot of people investing in it, 359 million dollars invested in YMAG. YieldMax makes a pretty penny on that. They're making 1.28% on that. So if you're just constantly having to reinvest your money in, YieldMax loves that because they're making money on your invested money. They're not making money on these calls or these synthetic options that they're doing, right? So pay attention to your money. Now, YMAG itself, I am pretty happy. Over the last year, down 9%. Not too bad. I mean, it has been an up market other than the last couple turmoil few weeks here. But yeah, you've definitely gotten your, is that a word? You've definitely received your distributions. So you got to be happy with that. This one, I think and I feel, is better than YMAX so far. If you take a look at the two of them together. All right, next one. Let's talk about CONY. This is a 4 week, every 4 weeks it pays. So paying out $1.04, and I think a lot of people were very surprised at $1.04, including myself. I thought it was going to be around 85 cents. So $1.04, again, glass full, glass half full kind of conversation here. Are they paying us too much money? Are they paying us out of our own pockets? Is that what's happening here? Because the share price isn't keeping up to how much they're paying us in distribution. So $13.26. If you look at the last year, it's down 30%. If you look at the last 6 months, we're down 16%, which is not good. And so generally that means that either they're mismanaging the fund and you're getting paid with your own money, or they're not making as much as they're claiming. And again, same story, right? And the reason I bring this up is because I compare it to Coinbase itself, which is what it trades off. And Coinbase itself in the last 6 months is up 46%. Why is CONY down 16%? If they've earned this money from writing covered calls and synthetic options, don't you think the share price should be at least flat or maybe just slightly down, but not down 16%? So for me, I have my money in it. I have what, 28, $2,900 in this thing. I'm leaving it in there for 5 years. We're gonna find out where it is 5 years from now. They're not gonna shut this fund down, just so you know. So if it gets low enough, they'll do a reverse split. They'll bring it back up to $50. You'll have a 5-for-1 split potentially. And so with this distribution, I am going to have it on drip. So I'm going to make 13 shares worth, I think. It's going to buy 13 shares, which should bring my total up to right around 210. I don't know, something like that, which is good. I'm happy with that. And I'm excited to see where this goes in the future. I have my fingers crossed, though, that things change for the better when it comes to Coney and they can start to improve our share price here along with paying us our money. What's wrong with paying me 50 cents and putting the other 54 cents into the price of the share? I don't know if that's possible. I'd love to see that. Don't you guys think that would be great? So that's Coney. Yeah, that's a big one. $1.04. If you take a look at Coney over the last payments, that's its largest payments over the last bunch of payments there. Next up, Fiat, which is the opposite direction of the positive, right? This is going towards the negative, and it's paying out 54 cents this month, which is absolutely bonkers and bananas and bizarre because Fiat is a failing ETF. So you can see here, it's its lowest distribution, which if you just listen to me, I think that's a good thing, right? And I'll show why this is going to be a good thing in a second, right? So there's all of its distributions. Look at the share price on this thing, though. We are down 63% in that 6 month period. Unbelievable. $7.95. There we go. Personally, this is not investable. It's not something I would put my money into at all. And I did have somebody in the comments saying, "Is now the good time to buy fiat?" I am not a financial advisor or somebody that you should take tips and suggestions from because I don't have a financial background. I'm just some guy on here telling you my feelings. And so my feelings are that this thing has been awful from day one, and I'm not buying that. Let's go to the next one, which is MSFO, paying out 36 cents. MSFO is very consistent with its paying. So that's nice. Also, MSFO share price is very consistent too. Kind of what I was looking for with CONY, right? And so, I mean, that's pretty good. You're getting paid, plus your share price is staying kind of the same. We're down 9%, or 24% in the last year, but you are getting your distributions. Now, if you have enough money in something, you're going to make some money. For me, I'm not invested in this. It doesn't quite pay enough. In fact, yeah, paying a current distribution rate. Now, this changes every single day, but 27%, not good enough for me, especially because I have to pay 15% tax on that. You can see the popularity of these funds whenever you look at net assets, 121 million dollars in there. And remember, YieldMax makes money when you put your money in the fund with their 99.99% take on that. So that's your MSFO. Let's go talk about AMDY. So they had a poor performance over the last little bit here, AMD. So AMDY paying out 38 cents, which is decent. It's decent. You can see it's also pretty similar to the last two here, and quite the dip compared to the two before that. But you can see AMDY came out hot when it first started paying a year and 4 months ago. But yeah, it's really kind of dipped down here. The share price is not good, $9.06. You know, if you look over the last year, down 60%. That's awful. If you look at AMD, it's down 36% in that same time period. So this is one where I don't really blame YieldMax too loudly here because you know, the performance of the underlying hasn't been very good either. So if the underlying performance is going down, so will YieldMax's fund. You'll get, you know, most of the downside risks there. Uh, the only positive is you're getting some distribution during that time, I suppose, right? I suppose. Let's go on to the next one here. This one's pretty exciting. It's NFLY, which is the Netflix play, paying out $1.07, which is pretty decent, that's for sure. Now, Netflix just had an incredible earnings, yesterday, day before, and I gotta look at it again. $1.07. Wow, so it's almost double from the last payment, which is huge. That's massive. $1.07 is gonna be their biggest payment ever. Congratulations if you're a Netflix holder. On top of that, if you take a look at the last 6 months here, you're up 21% on share price. That's good, right? That's our first really true success story over at YieldMax out of everything that we've talked about so far. So congratulations on that. Now the bad news is if you had have invested in Netflix itself, you would be up 68%. So classic, you should have invested in the underlying, and that's what I'm starting to do with my NVIDIA fund. I'm moving it over to NVIDIA. I've moved some over to NVIDIA, so I have. I'm not buying any more NVIDIA because I feel they're going through the same thing that's happening with CONY here. It's just they're they're not as far as CONY is with share price yet. So Netflix itself crushed it in earnings. If you take a look at the last 5 days here, up just 2%, which is good. 14% over the last month. But NFLY, I mean, personally, whenever these funds are around that $19-20 range and they're maintaining that share price while paying you a distribution, for me, that is a bonus and a win in my books. Now, I know, you guys, I know I'm going to get some comments saying, yeah, but we get paid distributions every month. Well, what's going to happen to these funds if they keep failing their weekly calls is the share price is going to drop. And so that's your capital going out the door. And so, yes, you do get distributions every 4 weeks, but it's not it's not sustainable in the fact that if the fund keeps dipping, then they're going to have to eventually do a reverse split and take five, well, one out of every five shares of yours away, right? So, yeah, that's just how I feel about that. ABNY, which is an Airbnb play coming up here. This one is a smaller fund, but it's paying out 40 cents, which is nice. Yeah, there's its payments, 40 cents, right in line with basically what they've done over the last 2 months here. Share price, not good. Broken record over here. Not good. Last 6 months down 17%, but Airbnb is kind of the same way. I wouldn't invest in Airbnb, so I wouldn't invest in ABNY because it's not volatile enough, and I don't see Airbnb going up the ladder. Whereas AB, and same thing with ABNY, I feel like it's going to be hovering around this, if not going down a little bit. Although Airbnb is getting into the summer season coming up, so who knows? Maybe that might create some positive momentum on their share price. How much dollar is in this? Just 34 million. So it's not like a huge fund at YieldMax. But one of you out there is in this. Next up, let's go PIPI PP, paying out 66 cents. The devil is coming for you here, 666. And yeah, it's a good payment compared to last month. But yeah, right in line with most months there. You can see a little bit lower here. They had some massive earnings around this period of time, and since then, I mean, it's kind of fizzled down a little bit. Share price $16.18 as of right now, and down 2.7% in the last 6 months. So, and then down 15% over the last year. But when you're getting these kind of distributions, maybe you personally are okay with it. Um, but yeah, there you go. PayPal, PayPal play. Last one I want to talk about here is ULTY. You ain't got an alibi. We're talking about Alti. Uh, what is it? ULTY. You ain't got an alibi. You're ugly, and that's kind of what Alti's share price is right now. It's ugly. We're looking at 864. However, let's go backwards on this one, right? So 1 year in the last year is down 55%. That's gross. If we go to the last 6 months, down 19%. So it's slow. Is that true? Has it slowed down? And let's go over the last month here, down 6%. I was watching somebody in the comments in one of my groups that I follow saying they've really slowed down ever since Jay came on to Retired on Dividends channel and Oracle's channel. But look at that share price, you guys. Somebody also mentioned, oh, only 53 cents, 54 cents. Well, I mean, look at the share price. If they paid you $1, that would drop down to 7.69 tomorrow. And that's not good, right? So if you look at the percentage there, 54 cents into 8.69, that's pretty good. That's a good payout for the share price being that low. Um, Personally, I wouldn't want more because if I own this fund, because I wouldn't want that to go any lower than it is right now. It's too low right now. It's too low. So they got to do a better job on this one. This one they have like the ropes are off, the free reins. They can do anything they want with this fund essentially, but yeah, it's not working for them. $282 million in this fund. You can take a look. They did give you a bit of a discount there, so your total fee for this is 1.24%. So it's more expensive to be in this than it is to be in most of the other funds. So YieldMax is definitely making their money on you being in that fund. So congratulations to YieldMax. Congratulations to YieldMax. There's one more fund coming out in Group C here. That'll be out there next 4 weeks from now, and this is going to be CVNY, which is it Cavana? I always get it wrong. Carvana fund, right? And so, yeah, Carvana's not that great of a company. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about at the end of this video here. I just wanted to make sure that we're all on the same page, or if you're not, that's okay. It's okay. We have differing opinions on things, and that's totally okay, everybody. For me, I've started to kind of open my eyes up a little bit, and if I'm at work and my work says do this project and do this project and do this project and learn this and do this and that, right? What's going to happen with my work performance? I'm going to be too thin. I'm not going to be able to perform properly on each of those tasks. I'm not going to be able to perform my job the way I want, which is 100% perfection every time. If I thin myself out too much, right? Wouldn't you guys agree? I would probably not do a good job. So what I've done is I've opened up YieldMax website and I want to talk about doing a good job. So, when I first got into YieldMax, it was almost 2 years ago with Tesla. And at the time, they only had, if you take a look here, where's Tesla on this list? They only had about four funds, three, four funds. They had Tesla, OARC, Aptly, NVIDIA. They might have had AMDY at that time as well. But since then, they've gone ahead and they've added all of these funds. So what they're telling us is that they have the power. They have the people power, the AI power, however they're doing this, to be able to operate all of these funds weekly, monthly, bi-monthly with your synthetic options and win you money, make you money on covered call premium. They're telling us that they can do that, right? Look at all of these new funds that have come out over the last month. And my opinion is that they are becoming too stretched out. They are stretching themselves too thin. And I always want to go back, and this is why I've been bringing it up lately. How do they make money? They make money by you investing your money in the fund, and they get that 0.99 or 1.24%. And they get money from you just taking your distributions and putting them back into another fund of theirs because you think this is the new shiny yellow object on the block. I want it. Are they spreading themselves too thin? I want you to think about that. Comment below. Let me know if you're still here at the end of this video. That's just how I feel about it. And I've noticed it on the NVIDIA trades because I've been paying specific attention to NVIDIA because that is my largest holding. And I've noticed that they have week over week over week over week when they do the buy to close, where they pay way more money than they made when they created that option itself. And what that is doing is it's decreasing our premium, our distribution, but it's also decreasing the share price at the same time. So if you feel like they are spreading themselves too thin, um, let me know. If you don't, if you think they're doing a great job, then let me know. It's all good. There is no hard feelings here. I want to make sure this channel is a place for you to share your opinions, but also, understand that other people have other opinions as well. And either either opinion's good. It's okay, right? This is how you're investing your money. If you like it, good. If not, good. Is there other options? I'm going to start exploring other options personally coming up here if I continue to see the neglect in those weekly calls, especially on NVIDIA. So, guys, my name is Mike. This channel right here is Health and Wealth. Thanks for subscribing. Thank you for being a member. Have a great night. We'll talk to you again very soon.